Hello everyone, hope you already have a lovely day. Today we will start building a web application and we will gradually add more features to make it more and more meaningful in the following months. In this web application, we will build the following key features. We will build user management for register user, changing user permissions, etc. We will build a content management system to manage the content in the application, like blogs, notifications, news, products, etc. We will also build an e-commerce engine, including shopping cart, shipping address, billing address, tax calculation, discount calculation, etc. And we will also build multiple payment gateway integration for the checkout process. And the user interface will be responsive and the multilingual support and the multi-theme support. And the technologies we use will be Java, Spring Framework, Spring Boot with embedded Tomcat as the application server, Spring Data JPA for accessing data, Spring Integration, Hibernate, and on the UI layer, we'll use Bootstrap for the layout and style, using jQuery for the UI behaviors. And today, we will be facing our first challenge, setting up the development environment. We need to download and install the JDK. We need to download and install IDE. There are multiple options in the market for the IDE, like NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ, STS, etc. And here we will use STS for this project. After downloading the STS, we will configure the STS, and inside STS, we will create a Spring Boot web application project. That's our first step, and we will test and verify this simple web application is working in this embedded Tomcat application server. Okay, let's start. First, we need to download the JDK. Let's go JDK download. So JDK 9 is just come out. To be safe, let's use the latest version of JDK 8. And the latest version is JDK 8 update 162. We need to accept the license agreement, then find the version compatible with your operating system. And here we select this one and start downloading, and it may take some time. Okay, it's almost done. Great, it's finished downloading. Now let's install it. First, it is asking for permission. Let's allow it. Now it's started. Next, let's just take the default settings, installation path, and package selection. And it is still installing. It will take some time. Great, it is installed successfully. Let's close this. Now, after installed, we can verify the installation by using this command prompt. You can run java-version. It will show us that the Java install Java runtime environment, the version is a 1.8.0 update 162. That's the one we just downloaded. Good. So our next step is downloading the IDE environment. So for this project, we will use STS. Let's do STS download. STS is from Spring. So it is a very well integrated with a Spring framework. So let's find the one compatible with the operating system. That will be Windows environment. 64-bit is the environment we're using now. Let's download. it will take some time as well. Okay, great. After the download, you will see it's available in the download folder. And for STS, it's a zipped file. We do not need to install it. Just the unzip will be good enough. So now let's unzip it. So after click this, it will start unzipping. Now it is unzipped into the Spring STS folder. And we can open the folder, go into this STS392. And this sts.exe is the executable file. Let's run it. And it is asking for a workspace. Let's just use C drive workspaces. Launch. So now it started with a dashboard. We do not need dashboard for now. Let's close it. Good. It's installed. Now, before we start our project, let's config STS to better fit our requirement. For example, the first one is the JDK. By default is using the JRE 1.8, but for the development we need the JDK. So let's add the JDK directory. It will be in C drive program files. You can see a Java folder in here, and you will be able to see the newly installed JDK 162. Let's select this folder. Click Finish. And we want to use the JDK 1.8. Now we can remove this JRE. Let's apply and close. Okay, now we can start our project. Let's create a new project. Let's select Spring Starter Project. So when we select this option, it will let us to set up some properties for this project. Behind it is using Spring Boot to set up the project. Let's call it CMS. And the group, let's call it Easier Life. And this will be a Maven project. We can choose Gradle if needed, if we want. And but here for this project, we want to use Maven. Java version will be Java 8. The packaging, we can select jar or wall. Spring Boot support embedded Tomcat, so we can build a jar file and run it from the command line without problem. We do not need external application server to run the application. We can also select to build a WAR file, then it can be deployed into other web applications servers. So this one doesn't matter too much for now. Let's just select WAR file. Okay, so here the package we want to use easier life.cms. Continue. And here it asks us to select some out-of-box functions provided by Spring Boot for our application. First, we want to build a web application, so we need a web support. The second thing is there are some other core features like a dev tools, which can make the development work much easier at runtime. For example, automated reload, etc. So let's select this one for now. Let's do next. This is confirmation. Let's go finish. Then STS will start importing the content and prepare the project for us. Now it is finished. The project is here. You can see it's a very standard Maven project setup. We have source main Java, source main resources, source test Java, target folder, etc. So the POM XML is the project configuration file needed by Maven. You can see the properties during the wizard is populated here, and we're using Java. We're building a Java 1.8 version application, and the required dependencies. Okay, now we can start to run this application. Before that, let's build this application. We can run as Maven install. You can see from the console it started. It's built successfully. Now let's just try to start this application. We can run as Maven boot application. If we run as like this, the application will run on an embedded Tomcat server. From the POM, you can see we have the Tomcat dependency here. Okay, let's start. Okay, now in the console, let's make it a little easier to see. From the console, you can see the application started already. Now we can test this application. Let's access localhost 8080. That's the default port. We see this error because we haven't added any file or web pages into the application. Let's add our first welcome page into the application, then we can see the result. For example, for the Spring Boot setup, there are some conventions over configuration. For example, there are static folder. We should put static UI pages into this static folder. For now, let's create a new file. Let's call it index.html. If it's a naming like index.html, it will be treated as the welcome page by Spring Boot. So we do not need any web.xml configuration for the welcome pages. We just name it. Okay, inside here we can do anything. For example, let's just do welcome. For now, we want to see the result. Save it. Okay, see this one will trigger the dev-to-space restart of Spring Boot application, which can save us a lot of time here. Now you can see the application restarted. Let's go back to the Chrome and verify the page. Refresh the page. Now you can see the content from the page we just added. And if we go back to just TS, we can update this one. Go back to this page, refresh. It's updated. Okay, so this is what we want to do for today's video. And here in this video, today we installed the SDK. We installed the IDE environment. Things are much easier now than before. So once we installed those things, we can start creating our applications. And Spring Boot, those frameworks help us a lot to set up everything. So now we can focus on our business logic to make things happen. I really hope you like this video, and in the following videos, we will start adding more functions to make it more meaningful. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot, and look forward to see you again.